Okay, great. So let's go ahead and define another endpoint, and that's the one for retrieving a single student. So I'll write a quick comment here to myself. So we'll define this endpoint for /students/student ID in curly braces. And this is for actually retrieving a single student by ID. And here we'll keep it simple and we'll actually return it by the index of that array list. So I'll set up this get mapping for /students/student ID in curly braces. And remember, the curly braces here for the student ID that's an actual path variable. And I'll just go through and define a method here, get student, that'll return a student. And I'll make use of this @path variable annotation to actually bind that path variable student ID to our parameter here, student ID. By default, the variable names have to match up. So the path variable coming in up top is in the curly braces student ID. Then our method param should also be student ID, and that's by default. Now what I'm going to do here is just index into the list. And like I said before, I really just want to keep it simple for now. So that actual student ID that they're passing in is really just the index from the actual list. So I can access an element in the list by simply saying the students, that's my actual list here, .get, and you give the index. So here we simply pass in the student ID, and that'll give us that person from the actual list. And that's the basic coding. Again, we're keeping it simple for now. We'll get into all the fancy database stuff later on. I'm ready to test it and see how this works. So let's go ahead and run this on our server. And then once it's up and running, then up top, I give /API/students, and then I give the student ID or the index. So I say /0, the first element in that list. And it should come back as Purnima Patel because that's the first student that we added. So index is 0. If I do 1, I'll get Mario Rossi. And then if I go through and enter 2, I get Mary Smith. So this is working out as desired. So this is cool. I like this. And let me just kind of copy this URL that we had before. So let's swing over to Postman. And let's create a new tab here. And I'll just paste in that URL. And I'll do /API/students/0. And again, that gives us Purnima Patel because she's the first student that was added. And then we have Mario for index 1 and then Mary Smith for index 2. This all kind of works out as planned. So we're able to make use of that path variable to access a single student. So this is great. But now you're probably wondering, what if I entered some bad data? What will happen?
Oh boy, we have this internal server error, the 500 error. Ugh, this is ugly. Let's find out why this happened. So let's go ahead and switch back over into our IDE. And we see this ugly stack trace. Ugh, awful, awful. All right, so scrolling up, we see the root cause, index out of bounds exception. The index of 999 is outside of the bounds of the length of 3, which makes sense, right? But hey, don't worry about this. We'll cover exception handling in the next video. So instead of the dreaded 500 error, we'll actually handle that exception and then provide our own custom response for that given error message or that given exception condition. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.